Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today is October 20th, and that means I am doing day 20 of Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. And I wrote myself a note, and then it is also Mixed Media Mayhem, where we are using ink, metals or metallics, and multi-photos. So I've got multi-photos, I've got my stuff, so let's see what I can do. Hey guys, so I'm starting out with a sheet of white paper, and I thought I had gotten some watercolor paper for this because my plans included doing some watercolor, and I didn't realize until after I had already done all the stamping that this was not watercolor paper. And you guys know that the texture of watercolor paper is definitely different than the texture of white smooth cardstock, but it just did not even compute in my head. So I'm taking this floral stamp, and this is a Brutus Monroe stamp set. Now, I thought originally I would do a bunch of these different florals because, you know, they're all a little bit different. They all are angled just a little bit differently. They're really beautiful. I've made cards and other things with them as well. And this time I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to move this one stamp around and just use the one stamp. So I've gone ahead and I've got this on the side, and then this is where I'm like, okay, this is where my watercolor stuff is going to happen. And I sprayed it down the center with water because that's what I would normally do if this was a watercolor piece of paper, and then I would splotch down the watercolor with a brush. However, I realized too late that this was not watercolor paper. And I'm not going to restamp and redo all of this work just to do that. So there we are. I'm dropping it down, and then I'm like, oh, this is regular paper. Whoops. Maybe I should do it like this. And then I realized quickly, after doing it like this, that there was not enough media on that little teeny thing. So I grab a page protector. First, I'm going to figure out where my photos fit because I'm not going to watercolor underneath of that. So I grabbed the page protector that all of this stuff was sitting in, and then I'm going to use it as a palette, basically. And I'm not concerned that I'm using a page protector. This page protector went straight into the bin. I actually pulled it out of the bin to do this. It is one of those page protectors that come in a Hobby Lobby album, and I don't like them. I think that they're a decent thickness and all of that, but I don't like that extra bit between where the binder holes are and the layout actually is. Just can't stand it. So I'm going to go ahead and use it like this. I'm using 3 different Brutus Monroe aqua pigments, which is their name for watercolor. I'm using turquoise, I'm using blue-green, and I'm also using gilded. Now, I do the turquoise here on the bottom, and then the blue-green here as well. And then I'm just going to water down whatever is left on this and ensure that there is color throughout the entire layout, and there aren't going to be these white edges. It's just going to be a light little bit of color. So I'm definitely not going to get the watercolor effect that I want it to get had I used actual watercolor paper, but ultimately I'm happy with this layout, so that doesn't matter. I mean, am I going to flip through this album and be like, oh, that's the layout I didn't use watercolor paper on? I mean, I might, but really? Probably not. So I go ahead and have that, and then of course that center part is all going to be covered up, so nobody even needs to look about that, know about that, all that kind of fun stuff. And then I was like, well, I'll just put this gilded across like that, and then I'll just kind of smoosh it around. Well, the gilded decided to leave a mark, which I wasn't expecting it to leave a mark like that, but it did. So basically, I just kind of camouflage it a little bit. I do grab my Ornament Gold Chroma Mist and go ahead and do some sprinkles on there because, you know, I need the metallics. And then after that, I decide that I need to bring in a border. I'm all about bordering my layouts right now. I do go in kind of kicks of doing that. Like it'll be a phase where I think every layout needs a border, and then I'll go through a phase where I'm like, why does this layout need a border? It doesn't. I'm just going to do it this way. It's just a matter of however my, my scrapbooking emotions are feeling. And right now I'm feeling like there needs to be borders. So I'm going to trim down my photos. These photos get trimmed down to 3 3/4 by 5.5. And I'm also using this kind of khaki and embossed paper. And then I also have this sheet of 6x6 gold paper. And I'm going to double matte this one photo. And then that will be my center photo since it has the double matte. So I'm going to figure out the positioning of my photos, and then I will go ahead and get these adhered down to the page, and then I will start building some clustery bits at the top of the photos and at the bottom. And I will tell you guys, I don't remember ever going back to look at the sketch after I looked at it at the beginning to do this layout. So, and I haven't put the sketch up in the upper left hand corner yet, so I don't even know if there is stuff above the photos or not, but I felt like there needed to be. So I'm going to build some things here. Now I will tell you that this layout is not completely dry, you guys. I didn't dry it. The only thing I did do was use my heat tool on the ink when I stamped the florals, because I wanted to make sure that that ink was not going to run with the liquid of the watercolors. So I'm pulling out the bits and bobs from my Punta Cana kit, which is so much easier to flip through and look at and see what I have compared to how it was before, which was a hot mess. So I feel like my Punta Cana life is kind of organized and put together, and the rest of my scrapbooking life is just one big hot mess. Like, I haven't even really gone into the Disney scrapbooking supplies in a hot minute because they're on their own cart now, and I feel like if I brought that into the mix, there's just no coming back from the travesty that is my scrapbooking room. So I am going to go ahead and use this sticker. Now this is like planner sticker thickness, so I go ahead and punch out a circle from that khaki colored paper and layer that up. And then I'm going to be able to put some fun things on this kind of clustery bit. And I don't know, that word phrase says something about paradise found. Paradise is here. This is paradise. It says something like that. Honestly, I'm not wearing my glasses and I can't really see. I really can't see it on the iPad screen that I'm doing the voiceover on. So that up there is finished, and then I even put that doily there because I felt like it needed just a little bit of extra something. And then I'm going to go ahead and figure out the bottom as well. I'm actually not sure what I'm doing right now. I don't know if I got up to go see Christopher over at his computer or what, but I'm taking my good sweet time, huh? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I was going to try to use this little seashell as well. I didn't like it anywhere on the layout, so it goes back on the paper backing, and I'm not really going to worry about it. Now, I do think about bringing in some more doily, and ultimately I do bring in more doily. But first I'm going to bring something in a little bit gold, which is that pineapple. So, because, pineapples are tropical. So I was thinking about bringing in this blingy heart as well. However, every place that I actually tried it out, I did not like the way it looked. The one place I liked the way it looked, it kind of leaned off the embellishment and kind of like fell down onto the background, and I hate that. So I'm not going to use it there. But I do try. I try. So then here at the bottom, I'm going to bring in little bits and pieces from the Punta Cana kit again. And I figured since I had a gold pineapple up at the top, I should put one down at the bottom. And that makes everyone happy because there is a tag that is a tag, and it is tucked underneath, so you don't even know it's a tag. But I left the little tag hole cut out there, so it's twofold. There's a tag, and there's a naked tag hole, but it's not really naked because it has its own cutout inside of it. So anyway, that's my story, and I am sticking to it. So I have like this little postage stamp decoration, and oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And I layer that over a label and then layer that over a long sticker. So I'm going to glue down the tag because whoops, forgot to do that. And then once that is finished, I am going to see one more time if I should bring in these rhinestone hearts. Again, I try a couple of places and it just doesn't feel right. So ultimately, they end up going back into my stash for use for another day. However, I did find that this wood heart worked out well, so I went ahead and put that guy down. And then that is going to do it for this layout, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for watching. I hope that you are feeling inspired to finish up some project of yours or even some nice vacation photos. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will see you real soon for another video.